This is the weekly update for pregnant women and their families of Australia and New Zealand at the time of this COVID-19 pandemic. In this update, I will provide a brief summary of two issues. First, some information on COVID-19 and how it differs from the other coronaviruses that we have seen in recent years. And second, a summary of the latest information from across the world on COVID-19 and how it may affect pregnancy. Last week, I outlined the meaning of the words coronavirus and COVID-19. Over the last 2 decades, coronaviruses have been responsible for 2 large epidemics. The first was named Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, or SARS, S-A-R-S. SARS infected more than 8,000 people worldwide, and 10% of people infected with SARS died. The second was Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, M-E-R-S. 2,500 people were proven to have been infected with MERS, and 34% of them died. The third is our current COVID-19 pandemic. SARS and MERS caused epidemics. COVID-19 has caused a pandemic. What is the difference? An epidemic is a disease that affects a large number of people within a community or population. A pandemic is an epidemic that has spread across multiple countries or communities. COVID-19 has infected far more people over many more countries than the previous coronaviruses, and hence has caused our current pandemic. But COVID-19 is a far smarter virus and a more challenging enemy. It is more infectious than SARS and MERS, but kills fewer of its victims. Only about 1% or so of infected people will die from it. And its most cunning trick of all is that it is highly infectious before people realise they are infected. In about half of cases, there are no symptoms at all, leaving the person blissfully unaware while they infect those people around them. And that is why COVID-19 has spread so far and so fast and has caused a global pandemic. Over the last week, there have been a few more reports from across the world of pregnancies affected by COVID-19 infection. However, there are no new findings that warrant changing our recommendations. Becoming infected with COVID-19 while pregnant does not increase the risk of serious illness any more than for the rest of the population, and there is no evidence that the infection causes any of the major medical complications of pregnancy. In Australia and New Zealand, our recommendation remains that the baby should not be separated from the mother after birth, and that breastfeeding is safe and should be encouraged as usual. As the restrictions to our daily activities are now being lifted, there is a real risk of a second wave of infections. Please do not let your guard down. Maintain your social distancing, wash your hands frequently, and contact your healthcare provider if you have any concerns. That ends this week's update. Next week, I'll be back with changes to glucose tolerance testing that we will now be recommending, and a brief description of how influenza and coronavirus infections differ and the various effects they may have on pregnancy. Until then, stay well. Thank you.